It just clinks.
2XKO Alpha Lab is finally back, and there's a lot of stuff we gotta talk about. The good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of ugly, a little bit of it.
Oh, this is so much better. Did you see the play button in the corner? See that giant play button? That's what every fighting game needs.
Let's talk about some big gameplay changes that I had a wonderful time with and some things I was annoyed by. Let's talk about defense. Number one, a huge change is push block. I feel like Alpha Lab 1 push block was too strong because it felt like he was just selling if you didn't use it. In Alpha Lab 1, push block used to cost 1 bar of meter, but it felt like you legit could do it and have your assist out and steal your turn back always on defense. In Alpha Lab 2, push block is tied to assist and they're on a quick cooldown up to 3 to 4 seconds. I love this change. I honestly feel like it is way different. It may be weaker as a push block in this version of the game, but overall, it's way more risky. Because now that it's attached to assist, you have to think about, do I want to push block or do I want to try to counteract with assist window or opening? This time, since it's not tied to just the main character, it's always tied to assist and fuse. Even if the other character is KO'd, you can still have a cooldown to use your push block. One thing about BB Tag that I loved and hated is sometimes when you push block and then you try to throw out your assist, they get to hit you from it. It felt like that. It felt kind of chaotic in that front. Other than that, right now, defense is way better across the board. In Alpha Lab 2, they made parry so much more cooler in my honest opinion. I like that you get the cinematic slowdown on the gameplay now when you parry it at a certain range or certain attacks. I don't know all the details yet, but I've experienced at least 1 or 2 parries myself so far. Now right now, this is my main pet peeve with the game, and it's kind of like annoyingly frustrating, but let's talk about it. I also understand the different various arguments without having motion inputs in a game like this. I personally feel like 2XKO currently, after like 5 to 6 hours of play, which can completely change, but right now, it felt mad uncomfortable to play compared to the last one. And I know that's crazy because in Alpha Lab 1 we was complaining about hitting too many buttons, but now I feel like I'm just scrambling right now, and that doesn't feel really that great personally. This is where I'm like, damn, the game is almost perfect because the controls and the amount of buttons you have can clog up your experience early on. Once you learn it, you ain't gonna feel like this, you know, you're just gonna get used to it. They changed the input for supers, and I absolutely hated this change. Number one, supers changed the special button plus any attack button versus down input that was in Alpha Lab 1. If you're on controller, this may be fine, but on levelless hitbox, you have to hit 2 buttons, and a lot of times it feels really weird in having to cross buttons. Even if you remap controls anyway to where it's easier layout and configuration, you still have to hit 2 buttons to perform a basic special 1 super. Now I know people hate down inputs, but like if you come from games like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, I've also came from Smash as well, so it doesn't bother me. And mind you, I was playing Smash on controllers where we couldn't use D-pad. But I do feel like them changing supers to those 2 buttons versus just down then a button added more room for error, and it's uncomfortable personally for me now. I personally would suggest Riot Games give us the option to pick between the 2 buttons or the down input. Something similar to what Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising has done with motion inputs off or on. And I know this is a traditional fighter, but I would sometimes want something similar to what Sparking Zero offering, different control schemes but on different inputs. Simple controls versus classic controls. And it doesn't mean the game is going to be easier on either control scheme in different ways, it just makes things accessible in different ways for different players. It's not like a Street Fighter 6 Modern if that's what you think I'm suggesting, no. This is a pet peeve, but I'll get over this the more I play this game. And this comes from 50 plus hours of me just playing the game, so yeah, it's a pet peeve. In 2XKO, launchers have went from 3H to 2H. Since my muscle memory is so locked in on it being like 3H for most characters that I did play, and some attack animations for launchers made more sense in a visual clarity kind of way for me because of how they look. And I was getting so frustrated because I'm like, why is the overhead down forward heavy and why is the launcher down heavy? You know what I'm saying? Like in my brain, because I've learned the game system like this, it's just light, medium, 3C, right? Or some characters could go, they could do that to knockdown. They can't do it to launcher. That doesn't work now. I feel like this is the one part of the game where they don't know what to really do yet, and I feel like they're like right there on being perfect. Other than that, I think the game is just better overall. Like if they release this today, To other gripes with like the controls and stuff, I would probably get over it. For some people, I don't see people getting over it because that can be very tedious and very frustrating to play because you feel like you're doing too much and overwhelmed. As a person whose whole channel is based on being overwhelmed 24/7, I think I'll be alright though.
Lastly, I want to talk about how good the tutorial is so far. It's not just generally basic BS that a lot of games like to throw in your face. This tutorial is really strong because it's teaching you things from OTGs, hit reactions, and a whole bunch more. Plus it has a demo. This is how you make a tutorial, especially up and foremost. I felt like I spent like 5 to 10 minutes and there's way more to do outside of the basic one they give you when you turn the game on for the first time. W.
The next things we know, we got to talk about ranked and we got to talk about monetization. Now, ranked is pretty cool in this game, which having placement matches is already start of a good ranked system. At least you get to fight people in your elo and queue when you play the game.
Hold on, wait. I gotta say, in less than 24 hours, I think the rank system is really flawed in this build of 2xKO or in Alpha Lab 2. Essentially, I was okay with it because my opinion on it was that as long as it works and the matches worked really well, I'm fine. I will say that does work when there's people in there. The higher ranks you get up to, there's no games to find. Now, albeit that will change when you get more players into this Alpha Lab. I feel like it was like somewhere from like 500 to 1,000 people in this test. Also, I don't think so right now that if I'm queuing up for ranked, I can't train in ranked either. I don't get how that works. This is an Alpha Lab, so I could be 100% wrong on that. You know, remind you everybody, this is an Alpha Lab, so my opinions here today, even if it feels like I may be trashing on it, doesn't mean I ain't have fun with this at all.
Now let's talk about the monetization because everybody know Riot finna rob everybody with the customization. Okay, I'm joking. It's costumes. You don't gotta buy it. I'll say so far right now, all the pool party costumes looks dope. Everybody and their mama got pool party Ari frame 1. So far, I don't know the monetary prices compared to game conversions yet due to it being Alpha Lab 2. But I do love how the bundle for ones actually gives you overall different colors and more things than normal. I love you, but take note, Fortnite. More colors ain't gonna hurt nobody, man. More options. All in all, 2xKO Alpha Lab 2 is proving that this is to be one of the best fighting games of all time. Outside of some controls issues, overall, I think the game is a way better spot compared to Alpha Lab 1. Oh, lastly, I want to talk about the combos. If you played the first version of the Alpha Lab, you might have to spend a whole day relearning all your combos because the game is completely different versus the muscle memory that you knew right now. My thing about tag games is what's cool is that the combos are long. That's something I like about tag games. I want niggas to watch this cutscene because they got hit trying to hit me with some BS. But personally, I don't feel like the combos were that long in the last version of the game. But right now, they're about 75% around the same length and not having that long drop off with it. For a lot of people, Ari last beta was so annoying because you have to watch the loop over and over again. I think the result of this is that she's not as fun to play wise because things just doesn't connect seamlessly compared to the last version. Echo's still cool. Jinx is probably the most fun, and that's all I've touched so far. I think they overall made the best of both worlds that you could do based on the community here. So shout out to Riot. With that being said, this is my quick little review of Alpha Lab 2. I want to talk about it in more detail than just streaming and things of that nature.